Good evening, everyone. In today's lecture, I'm going to explain you step by step how you are going to create a project in NS3 and how you will add the iOS images. And then I will cover the next part, the one which I covered in the previous lecture. And some students have the complaints that they were not able to see because the font was very small. So in this lecture, we are going to cover how to create. So the first thing you need to do is you have to open GNS3 and you have to write a name on this. So let's say I'll write it as Vipin 3. Why I'm using Vipin 3? Because I already made project with the name Vipin 1 and 2. So you will say okay. Now the window will come like this. So this is open as Vipin 3 and you will see the routers on this side. First thing which I need to bring to your notice is that you need to have an GNS3 installed on your computer. Some people you do it online, but I think it's better for you to download the desktop app. That works better. Okay, because then you have to use VMware and there are many things which you have to install. So it's better to use the desktop app. So then you will see this sign. This is for routers. Then you have this sign for your switch, hub switch, another Ethernet switch, frame relay. Then you have for desktop, or you can say cloud, or some network also. Then you have this sign play if you want to play it, whatever the work we have done on this. And then this is for all sets of devices together, but I preferably use the separate ones. So these routers are already installed by me. And then there is a last one of this on the left hand side. This is used to provide connections between the devices. Now, the thing is that I already have these routers. So when you will open your window, you will see, I think, one or two routers there. So I downloaded a set of routers, which I uploaded on the Blackboard also. So you need to go there like the way I'm going. I will go here now. So you will go edit, you will go to preferences. And then if you are doing routers, you will go to routers. If you are doing switches, you will go in this area. This is built-in ones, or you need to go on VMware. But we will work on routers only. So I'll click routers. So we have already these ones. So you will know. So we have 261, 3725, 3745, 7200, 7201. So we will click new and then it will ask for the location because it's existing image. So we are not going to use this one. We will click new image, then we will browse. Okay, so these are GNS3 images already there. So we need to select one of them. So bring me this side so that you can see. So we have 2691, we have 3725 on my system, 3745, we have 720, this also. So these, all of them are already there. But let's say, suppose I want to install 2691, then I'll click on this, I'll open it, and then I will click next. You want, because 2691 name is already there, let's say I make it 2692, then I'll say 26 next. Here you will define how many MBs you are going to use for it. We are going to use, mostly we are going to use 7200, which we use either 256 MB RAM or we use 512. So we'll keep this one like this only. And these are now the places where you will decide how many nodes it has, or you can say how many connection it can provide. So let's say I make it one FE, means fast Ethernet transmission. So it might have one of these only, or this 16 Ethernet. So it's up to you. Then you will click next. Then let's say first terminal, I'm going to use next, and then you will click idle PC Finder. Then it will go. Once it will be done, you will be able to install it. We are waiting for it to get installed. So once it will be installed, you will then click finish. I'm canceling it. Why? Because this is already installed in my system. Because it will say the same thing. Okay. So now we have this already. Then you will say apply. Okay. And then you can see it was earlier there. That's why I have to cancel it. But we are going to now use C7200. So you bring it here, and then when you want to configure it also, so from here also you can change certain things, like we are using 512 for this. If you want to use RAM size as 256, you have to mention it here. Slots, like we are using this here, we can give it more fast Ethernet or gigabyte Ethernet cables. Like if I just show you this one, then configure slots. So depending upon which one you are using, you can give it the kind of, so let's say delete it. We'll just use one of those. We'll just configure it, and then we will say 8 Ethernet. Let's say fast Ethernet also. You want gigabyte Ethernet also. You want this for E80. Apply. Okay. So we have this router now. Now we want another one of this, and you want to set up a communication between them. But before that, you need to configure this one also again. So let's say it has, it's up to you how many ports you want. Okay, now you will click this, you will do left click. And let's say I'm connecting Ethernet 1/0. So Ethernet 1/0. To here, you will click left to Ethernet 1/0 of this one. Okay, so now both of them are connected to each other, and you want to see, or you want to name them, then you can bring here. So let's say, like an example I gave, it has IP address as 0.0.1. This router has this address. This has subnet mask for the subnet IDS. This one has 2 name. Okay, and then you want to see the Ethernet they are using. So both of them are using Ethernet 1/0. So you can see it here. If you remove it, then they will remove this part. You will not be able to see the interface to which they are connected. Now, when you will play this, then both of them will turn green if they are connected. If they are not connected, it will not turn green. One of them, whichever is not connected. Now, these are the names, we just put them there. They are not basically with the IP address written there. So suppose we want to set up the IP address. So you will click this console. Wait a while. R2 is open, R1 is not open. That happens sometimes. So what you need to do is you click it and you need to do it again. Okay. So maybe the problem is occurring due to this showing that. So now we have R1 and R2 both. So then you enter, because now we are configuring R1. I hope when it will be recording what I'm doing on this screen also. Let me try sharing this part of the screen only. New share. Okay, I think I hope it's recording this part. So if you need to configure it, as I told you in the previous lecture also, so you will then write en, enter. Now you're on router R1. Then you will say config terminal T. So if enter commands one per line. So now you are inside the router configuration. Now you have to mention now like which interface you want to do your configuration. So you will write int e, if you remember it was 1/0. So now you are on that particular interface. Now you need to assign it the IP address. You want to assign IP address 10.0.0.1, and you have to, because it's a 24 subnet mask, so 255.255.0. Now if you want to see whether it's got that particular address or not, then you need to do show IP int bref brief. Okay, so now you can see that the IP address is assigned, but it's showing down. Okay, when you are on an interface, you will use do, but if you are outside the interface, means if you are here, then you can use the show IP interface brief. Now, if you want to make sure that your interface is up, then this giving you the configuration of all the nodes you have on the router, or you can say the connections it can provide. So now you need to mention no shut down. Now if you do that using up arrow, this, and you will see that it's going up, this one. Okay. In a similar way, you have to do for router R2, and then for router R2, you have to do again en, then you will say config terminal or T, and now you have to write the interface on which you want to go. Interface again is same here, 1/0. Now you have to assign IP address, so you type IPADDR IP address. What's the IP address of this one? I think I typed 2R this, and then so IP address this is 10.0.0.2, and what's the subnet mask? 255.255.255.0. Now if you want to see, it's better we do no shutdown now, and we are not checking it again, we just saying en. So we are now on router main interface, and now if we want to see whether our ping is working for 10.0.0.1, we are on router 2, so we will ping router 1. So you can say the success rate is 80%. So this is sending 5 messages and 4 are reaching. Let's try again, and you can see that now this time the 5 packets are sent and 5 are received. So we can say we have a connection between both of them. Now